Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Dave Dillon with Chase to Summit, and today we're going to talk about how to navigate a course on your Garmin Fenix 6, Garmin Fenix 5X, Garmin Forerunner 945, basically any Garmin that has the course navigation function. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have full mapping on your device, but getting the courses on board can be a little bit tricky, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Also, what do you think of my studio setup today? I changed out my camera and lighting situation, so let me know what you think. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe and give me a thumbs up down below. It really motivates me to create more videos and more content like this. Without that, I probably wouldn't do this stuff. So there's two ways to sync a course to your watch, and I found the most effective ways through the computer. You can also do it through your phone, but there is some caveats there. I've noticed if you sync a course through your phone to your watch, it actually brings up every turn as a course point. So my goal for this was I was running a 100-mile race. I wanted to put the course on my watch, and I wanted to have distances set for all of my aid stations. It's a good form of motivation at a race when you know when the next aid station's coming. And I found that if I synced with Garmin Connect to get the course onto the watch, it was a lot easier, but it turned every turn along the course into a course point. So it kind of buried my aid station course points. What I mean by that is on my watch, I had the data field distance till next. And if I synced my course through Garmin Connect, it would show the distance to the next turn rather than the distance to the next aid station. And I really wanted to know how far I was from the next aid station. I didn't necessarily care where the next turn was. So in order to get around that, I had to do some funky stuff with fit files and syncing directly from the laptop. And we'll show you how to do that right now. Basically, any watch that shows navigation as a feature, it doesn't necessarily have to have full topographic mapping for this to work, but it does make it a lot easier when you are actually following the course because you have some context around your track. Okay, so we'll need a couple items. First, you'll need your watch, and you'll also need your Garmin sync cable. Let's jump over to the computer and I'll show you how it works. Number one, Dad. Okie dokie, so here we are at my computer. I've got my Garmin Fenix 6 plugged into my laptop via USB, and because this is a Windows machine, it identifies the Garmin Fenix 6 as basically like a hard drive or like a thumb drive. It's just any other storage device to the Windows machine. I think Macs actually treat this a little differently, so you'll have to test that out for yourself. So now we can see the Garmin Fenix 6 Sapphire. This is my watch here, and when I dive into the folder, you can see this is where they store music, podcasts, audiobooks, and then this folder here is the Garmin folder. And within the Garmin folder, you see a whole bunch of stuff. This is where Garmin stores all of its data for like your sleep tracking and all of your fitness metrics like VO2 max. All of that is stored within this folder structure. We don't care about much of this right now, so don't get too into the weeds with it. We're just looking for a folder called New Files. And here it is, right here. So you can see here that the New Files folder is completely empty. Basically, if you dump any track in here, the watch will pull it in and treat it as a course. But there's a couple things we need to do first. Now we want to go over to connect.garmin.com. And this is mine here. Now we want to go over to training and go down to courses. This is where Garmin buries their course builder. And you can see I've got a whole bunch of saved courses in here. So let's run through the course builder real quick, just so I can show you how it works. If you didn't have a course in here, you can click Create Course. Then you want to select what type of course you're making. So I'm going to select trail running, and I'm going to select custom. And now I've got a clean slate. You can see it's got my general location, Massachusetts. We're going to go down to a place that I love to run at called the Middlesex Fells. You can identify the Middlesex Fells from a bird's eye view here because these little purple squiggles are actually popularity trend lines. That indicates that's where people do a lot of trail running. I actually ran a race here a couple weeks ago, 32-miler, a lot of fun in the snow and cold. So here's the Middlesex Fells, and you can see there's a whole bunch of popularity trend lines. The darker colors indicate more traffic and the lighter colors mean less traffic. For our purposes today, we're just going to start a track here at this trailhead. Now I'm going to click once, and that gives me a start point. So to create a route, you don't have to click 1,000 times. You can basically click your start point in somewhere you'd want to end, like let's call it down at this trailhead here. And you can see that Garmin chose the most popular route to get me to that point. Now the problem here is it chose a lot of fire roads, and I don't really like fire roads. So we're going to go ahead and drag this back into these single track trails in here. And now you can see it rerouted me again using the single track trails. This is really handy if you're in a place where you're not familiar with, maybe you're traveling for work or something, and you want to go on a trail run. This is a great way to pre-configure a course so you don't get lost, and you can pick where you want to be. And you can also follow the popularity map, which is pretty handy too. It shows me here, this is a 3-mile track with 314 feet of elevation gain. It also gives me my elevation profile over here. And if I click on pace calculator, this is also really handy. You can put in what kind of average pace you'd want to follow. Let's say, I don't know, 11-minute miles. And that'll give me a 33-minute goal time for this track. So because my car is going to be parked up here, I need to get back to start. And by clicking this out and back button here, it'll actually reverse my direction and follow the course back to start, which is pretty handy. So the watch will keep navigating you all the way back to the start where your car was. Now, say there was an aid station halfway through this course. We're going to go ahead and add an aid station to this area here. And to add an aid station, we're going to say add course point up here. And then we just need to click somewhere on our course. You can see a little flag pop up. And then it gives you the option, generic, food, water, first aid, danger, summit, valley. I'm just gonna call it food for now. Now we're gonna go ahead and just give this a name so we can identify it. We're gonna call it the Fells Fun Run. And then we're gonna hit save. Okay, so now we've got our course built up. We've got our course point down here shown as a little fork and knife for food. Up here, there's also a little tab that says course points, and you can toggle on and off course points, which can be handy if you've got a ton of them and makes visibility a little hard. So let's go ahead and save this as a FIT file. We want to save it as a FIT file, not a GPX file. So now that we've got our FIT file saved, we're going to go ahead and save it to our Garmin Fenix or Garmin 945, whatever you have, in the new files folder we just talked about. So I'm just going to paste it here. And there we go. We've got course 29687 blah blah blah. This name doesn't matter too much. What matters is the data inside of it. So don't worry about naming these anything fancy. When it shows up on your watch, it'll be called whatever you named it in Garmin Connect. Okay, now we get to unplug our watch and see what happens. Okay, now that we've got the course uploaded, we're going to go ahead and unplug the watch. And first thing you'll notice is that it's going to go through its boot cycle. It says loading maps. All right, now that we've got the course uploaded to our watch, we're gonna go ahead and start an activity. For me, I'm gonna select trail run. And now there's two ways to get to the screen where you choose your course. You can either just press up, and that'll bring you to this course field here, or you can hold down this button, go down to navigation, and select course here. Now you can see this is my course that I just uploaded, the Fells Fun Run. I'm gonna go ahead and select that. From here, you've got a few options. You can set up a Pace Pro strategy. I'll do that in another video. You can view the map of the course. You can do the course in reverse. You can look at the elevation plot. We'll do that real quick. Here you can see the elevation plot of the course. You can change the name of it. And you can edit it. You can view climbs individually, which is pretty cool if you are looking at a race or something. And now I'm just going to click do course. So once you select do course, you'll notice you've got a few new data fields available. First, you've got the page you have set up by default. This is whatever trail running page you had previously. Again, this is just my heart rate page here. This is my map. And now we have Climb Pro. This is super cool. So this will break up all of your climbs along the course into individual climbs. So here you can see climb 1 out of 6. I'm just gonna start it so that goes away. So here you can see climb 1 out of 6, and we've got no progress made on it because obviously I'm inside my office and not running. So you can see this climb has 94 feet of elevation gain, and it's about 1/4 of a mile long with an average 7% grade. This is a ton of information, and this is awesome for long races. I really found this very helpful. A lot of times I just leave it on this page because I get a lot of information from it. This page is just your overall elevation gain, and this is helpful for shorter races because when it gets really long, it's really hard to see anything in here because it gets so compacted because it's such a small watch face. Now you go down again, and this is a really helpful page. So I've custom set this up to be estimated time elapsed, next waypoint, distance to next, and time to next. And now it doesn't show my next waypoint because I'm not actually on the course right now. But if I were, it would show that aid station that I had previously set up. And that's how you navigate a course on a Garmin Fenix 6 or 5 or 5X, 945, basically any watch that has a navigation function. There might be some discrepancy on how you select the actual navigation from within the watch, but generally it should be the same. At my last 100 miler, I really relied on this function of the Garmin Fenix 6. It was immensely handy at this race because the course was really hard to follow. It was in the fall in New England at night, so there were tons of leaves on the ground. It was very dark. It was hard to see where we were going. And the course wasn't really that well marked. So having the navigation on my watch really saved my butt a few times. I just wish it was a little easier to set up on Garmin's side. For some reason, if you sync it with your phone, it brings all that turn-by-turn direction stuff in and it really buries your important data. I wish there was just a way to toggle on or off turn-by-turn directions. It seems like a simple thing for them to implement. So Garmin, if you're listening, you better get on that. That's really all I've got for today. That's how you navigate a course on the Garmin Fenix 6 or 5 or 945, blah, blah, blah. If you've got a better way to do this, please comment down below and let me know. I'm sure others would love to hear from you as well. And let me know what you thought of this tutorial format. This is the first time I've done this on the channel, so I'm kind of interested to hear what you think. Also, if you've got ideas for other tutorials based on the Garmin Fenix 6 or any fitness watch, let me know. I'd love to help. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe down below, give me a thumbs up, all the things, and have a great day.